push rods came in. I was about to say valve springs, but these are the same company that I bought the valve springs from, Alex Parts. And these were the only ones that they had in. I had a really hard time trying to find valve springs, push rods. A lot of websites had them, but they were back ordered. These are 114. Still pretty pricey, but better than 140. First tier grade is around 40 to 80 bucks. And these are like the high performance ones. They have a thicker wall, whatnot. They're pretty beefy. So anyway, I wanted to show the difference between stock 6.25. Here we go. See the height difference there. Alright, so I did the first cylinder, top dead center, and the preload's there, but I think it's a little bit too much. The intake was almost 1 turn, and the exhaust was a turn and a little bit. So I think I want to get to about 3/4 of a turn to when I hit that 20 foot-pounds. So let me go look to see what kind of shims I need to get. Okay, so I got the shim kit from Summit. So it has 10, 20, 30, 40. So I'm gonna go ahead and try, just put it right in the middle and put a 20 in there. It's nice. Okay. Let's see here. I have a 0 lash. No up and down. Can barely move it. 20 thousandths shim. Quarter. And a half. Almost a half. Okay, that will work, but I would like to get it to 3/4. So let me try 10 thousandths and see what happens. That's about right there. Hold on. Okay. All right. I might go back to 20 because that basically went a little bit past 3/4. Yeah, let me go back to 20, see where it torques down. It's hard to say because it does, I'm confused on if the torque turn counts as past the lash or what, because whenever you torque it down, or whenever you get it past the lash, and you seat it, and then that's all the preload is going. The rest is thread stretch. So I don't know. Taking the 10 out, the 20 back in there. All right. This time I'm going to use the torque bar all the way. Okay. So, quarter half. Move my light around. It's half. Now it's starting to, there we go. So it's between half a turn and 3/4 of a turn. So I think that's about as good as I'm gonna get. So I'm gonna go with the 20 shim. Preload amount. Off the spring. Versus on the spring. Or actually, is this one's torqued down too, so. But this one's torqued down too much. This was the old valve lash, that's too much. This is the exhaust one, has no shim. And the intake side has a shim. Using the 6.3 length push rods from Alex Parts. Alex Beehive springs for the GT40 heads. N41 Cam, given a 512 lift. Okay, so I'm torquing down the valves and kind of want to show you my process. The first thing I did was number the cylinders. It's the rock and adjust formula, and I found it on the internet, it's not my idea. You have your firing order, you list your firing order down, take this up to the top, take this down to the side, then you rock this piston so that the overlap starts to happen, and that means you can adjust that one. So I just adjust number 5. So now I'm going to come back over here. 5. So now I'll go to number 7, and I'm going to make that overlap. So we're 7. All right, so 7. So that is the intake or exhaust? That's the exhaust. So that's going to start coming down. All right, and see how the other one's starting to come up? That's the overlap. So that should mean that number 4 should be at top dead center. And you see, they're both down at the bottom. So if we get those to line up evenly on number 7, there we go. Come back to number 4. Yep, close enough for government work. All right. So that's how I got to 7, adjust 4. So now I'll take these off and shim them and lube them and then torque them down. And go on to the next one. Okay, so now I'm at number 6, and that should be to adjust number 1, which I've already done, but I'm just curious to see if I become dot to dot whenever I adjust it. So let's do this. Turn my light around. All right, so we're gonna be watching 6. This should fall down, and then whenever this rises, number 1 should be at top dead center. So let's see what happens here. Turn, just going down. Oops, number 6. There we go. Back them up a little bit. Right about there. Look at number 1. Looks good. Now let's look at the timing chain. See how close we are to dot. And, oops. Man. That looks dot to me. Or real close. It's actually just a little off. So it needs to go back this way just a little bit. So let me see what that does. I'm gonna make this dot to dot. All right, that's pretty much dot to dot right there. So you kind of go back. So right whenever it starts lifting is whenever it's at top dead center, it looks like. So if I am not dot to dot there. Right, still going. Right about there. So those are about even, I would say. So that you want to try to get them even. It's at top dead center. And dot to dot. All right.